And we are live. Guys, I am so happy that this worked. I had a coffee disaster last weekend, and my brand new computer is now in the shop. But, anyways, welcome to the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. I'm going to dedicate this broadcast to my late mama, Elizabeth Vanderwater Angel, who just died a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to be traveling up to Arkansas next week. So the Let's Talk Fishing podcast will not air next week. And without further ado, man, it's part two. This is part two of Rhonda Pitts. How are you doing tonight, Rhonda?
I'm doing fine, Jay. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Considering what just happened.
Yes, sir.
And
condolences to you and your family.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. The public support I got from my friends, from my family, from my listeners has been overwhelming. And you guys rock, man. That's all I have to say. And as a man from the 80s, that's really quite a compliment.
Yes, it is.
And I want to show you something. I went to Zook fishing this week. I was talking to them about the rods. Here, let's remove that for a second.
Yeah.
And check this thing out.
Cool. Yeah.
This is a little bitty thing. It's made for speckled trout.
Uh-huh.
You can hear that. Yeah, it's just a little. It's like a little Zook or a little. What do they call it? Zara spook. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get this out.
The bass are to love it.
And speaking of lures,
we have a new one to talk about tonight.
Rhonda wants to talk about lures. Look at these bad boys.
So
look at these bad boys. Why don't you tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. So these are a Giga Shad from Collins Customs. And if you're not familiar with Collins Customs, the owner is Jason Collins, who also owns Clickbaits. And he got tired of just painting baits and he wanted something of his own. So for about the last 4 years, he's been working on the Giga Shad. He was trying to develop a swim bait that would provide solutions, for anglers with common problems about, the depth and the sink rate. And that with a swim bait, a lot of times you'll get followers, but they won't commit to striking. So this bait has, excuse me, it has an inertia driven device inside the bait. So when you twitch it, it helps make those bass react. So,
so it kind of hunts. Yeah, take a drink. You're fine.
I'm sorry. So yeah, it's a great bait. A lot of swim baits, when you throw them, especially the big ones like this, they'll helicopter on you as you're casting them, and this bait doesn't do that. So Jason really put a lot of time. Yeah, he put a lot of time and thought, and I want to call it pre-production work, and he really, really went out on the water because Jason is an angler. So he really went out on the water and tested all of his prototypes as they went along. And this is the final induction of it.
Product.
So the bait is 5.3 ounces. And it's 9 inches long from nose to tail. I don't know what's wrong with me today. The dorsal and tail fins are silicone. So they're pliable.
Okay.
They're pliable. So, I'm sorry. And it comes with 3 different weights. So you can use the first weight, which is it's red. They're all color coordinated. And the first weight is a slow float, and the second weight is a slow. Excuse me, just a moment. So sorry. So you got a slow float,
And you're okay.
slow sink. Yeah, I'm fine. And then it also has a fast sink. So you can fish this up to 20 feet deep. You can run this over.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's very customizable. In the joint of the bait, if you can see here, you can actually take this pin right here out, and the bait comes apart. And there's a set screw right in here that you can move it forward to make the bait do, nose down, or you can move it back and level it, or you can make it go nose up. And it's very versatile. It's the way that you can run this.
So it's kind of negatively buoyant with it, and the inertia thing in the middle of it will cause it to dart erratically. Correct?
Yes, if you give it a twitch on your rod, it'll make it really dart. And the good thing about this particular glide bait is you can't blow it out. You can reel it as fast as you want to, and it's still just going to glide. It's not going to blow out and tip over and come in on its side, and some of the issues that you have with other glide baits.
Oh yeah. With back in the day, man, if you tried to reel it too fast, it'd end up on the surface, or it'd go
Right,
down and get snagged, and then you just lost your expensive glide bait. Yeah,
right.
that's how they all were back in the day. Back in the days when we used to use those things for muskies. I mean, you wanted them going crazy for muskies, and
Well,
because you
and
want,
this one you
but
can
this thing, it,
go ahead.
go ahead.
So you can use it either as a glide or you can use it as a chop. You can really chop it and make it, really dart. It just depends on how you want to fish the bait. I fished this on Sam Rayburn last month, and
Ooh,
yeah, the bait really fishes itself, um, because all you have to do is just give it a slow roll, and it's just gonna come right on into you, and you can speed it up or you can do that, the half a turn, and it'll make it, you know jolt like a if it's running, how a shad, when it's running away from bass, they'll do that fast twitch. And it's very, very versatile, and it's
you
so
know,
easy
it,
to use.
Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn, that would be interesting to use this if you're going to those neck down areas, like where one of the long fingers goes underneath a bridge, and
Yeah.
all those spawning bass and the pre-spawn bass and the post-spawn bass are they're all going through that one area. If you could get this down 20 feet and just dart it around, you don't know what you're going to catch there, man. It could be a 10
Well,
pounder, or it could be a 1 footer.
exactly. And it will actually go to 40 feet. So if you're in a super deep
Wow.
lake, like a glacial lake or something like that, you can actually go 40 feet deep to get down on top of those brush piles. And if you swim that over the top of those brush piles, you're going to pull the fish out of it.
So you just cast it out and just let it sink if you want it to go deeper.
Yeah, just count it down. You use the heavier weight that comes with it. You just screw that in, and you just count it down as to how deep you want to go, and then start reeling.
Now
So
it
it
looked like
does
in one of
have.
those pictures it just came in different sizes. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, Jay. What?
It looked like in the picture that this thing came in different sizes.
No, no, it's all one
Do
size.
they
Those
have multiple
those were
sizes
just
you can buy them?
multiple. No, those were just multiple baits stacked up beside each other. Hey, Jason's on. So Jason Collins, who is the maker of this, just jumped on. Hey, Jason, thank you very much.
Thank Thank you, Jason, for tuning in. We appreciate you coming on to the show. Welcome to the Let's Talk Fishing show. We've been showing this picture. If I can get it to come on. There it goes. I guess it was just the perspective of that picture that made them look like they were different sizes.
Right.
But you said
No,
they have different weights if you'd like them to go
yes.
deeper.
Yes. So there are 3 different weights. The red one is a slow float. The sharp. So depending on, what you're doing that day, you can customize that bait to do whatever you're doing that day. And depending on what
Wow,
time.
so you can cast this thing out between weed clumps,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of make it dart around in the middle of the weeds.
Yep.
Or you can work on a deep rock bed.
Yes.
It's
Rock
that versatile,
brush
huh?
pile or anything like that. Yeah, definitely.
Boy, one thing I don't do is cast a glide bait into a brush pile.
So what you're going to want to do with this one is you're going to want to go over. You just want to skim the top of it. You don't want to get down in it, but you want to just go over the top of it and pull those bass out of that brush pile.
Okay. Okay. I do that in a lot of places I fish around here. You're right. I throw crankbaits at brush piles all the time. And,
yeah.
With nowadays when I tie direct in those kind of lakes when I'm using, I tie direct a 30-pound braid, and I'm either going to break the hook off or
Yeah, I will say one thing you're not
or get it back.
One thing you're not going to want to do. You don't want to throw this bait on braid, because what will happen is you'll go back to cast, and when it gets to the end of the line, it just keeps going. It'll actually break. Yeah, you want to use fluorocarbon, something a little more forgiving.
Okay, so can you use braid the fluorocarbon leader, or
Yeah, you could do
or
that.
you just want to use straight fluoro?
I would use straight fluoro.
Okay. Yeah, I have had lots of problems with braid over the years, and I don't care how good they think the braid is. Yeah, but it just so castable.
Well, and the bait is it's a 5-ounce bait, and
Here we go.
Read that off for me, Jake.
Now, it said, yes, as Rhonda stated, most of the pile bites will come just over the top or around the pile itself. In fact, most of the bigger bass will be on the outer fringe of said piles. And Jason, I couldn't agree with you more. I said that, then I thought about where I catch most of my bigger bass, and most of them are when I am taking the tops of a brush pile with a crankbait. And what is a glide bait? It's just a modified crankbait. It's just, pretty much the same idea. And, this thing just a 9-inch bait. I am constantly surprised, like an XD6. This thing is down there going nuts on the bottom, and I'll catch a 13-inch bass on it. And that thing is 6 inches long.
Right. The bass, the bait's big as the bass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, don't be afraid to cast big lure.
Well, the old saying, big lure catches
one
big
of my
bass.
Soapboxes, I'm sorry.
So, really when you're using this bait,
also
you're gonna look for conditions where you'd use a spinner bait. So, typical spinner bait weather,
okay.
The windier, the better. So the more wind you got, the better this bait's going to work.
Man,
that's the windier it is. If you've got this heavy bait,
imagine that.
The better you're going to be able to cast
it. I was just going to say that an 8-foot long, heavy action, or medium heavy actually.
You probably want a heavy or extra heavy.
With the wind at your back.
Exactly.
wee,
Yeah,
100 yards.
yeah.
You don't want a 10 pounder out. You don't want a 10 pounder out 100 yards. You won't get him in.
That's when you reel really hard and
And every
go with
time he casts, my
go
heart's going to
toward
be
him with
stuck.
a trolling
Every
motor.
time he kills my hips.
Yep.
Yeah, chase him, chase him. That's why I'm glad I'm getting my own boat because I don't trust anybody to do that but me. Put that trolling motor on 10 and go. I'm
Exactly.
getting him in.
Yeah. Yeah. If I just got
The
to run
guy's
over,
just
I'll get him in.
actually Jason. Jason said straight fluoro.
Yeah.
That
Straight
I
fluoro.
guess he trusts straight fluoro with this.
Yeah. And you know, like
That's a
at
tough line
Jason,
right there. Straight fluoro. You probably get,
and you're probably going to want 22 to
go
25
ahead.
pounds. You're probably going to
Yeah,
want 22 to 25
I
pounds for.
definitely don't. I have just lost so many fish, Rhonda. I use 20 pounds braid when I wacky rig anymore. I I just I just got tired. I got tired of losing fish, and I don't even care if I'm at a lake where there's the average size of the bass is 14 inches. Man, if I hook into that 8 pounder, I want that in the boat.
Yep.
And anymore, if I'm throwing crankbaits, I want a glass rod because it just has more give to it. And when you set the hook, I want the. I just I use custom rods and I have a rod for every application.
Right.
Actually, I have like 3 rods for every application. I'm working on that to get it up to 5.
Well, you know what they say. Anybody tells you you've got too many, you don't need friends like that.
Yeah, it's my wife told me you need another rod, and I'm like, and you need another house plant.
Exactly.
Okay, that's that's why we bought the truck
Yep.
so I can store my rods.
And she can haul
And
plows
actually,
plant.
yeah, on my new truck, I actually got a hard topper so that I can put rods in the back of there because I'm going to be getting a center console,
Yeah,
a
that's
bay
very
boat.
cool. Yeah.
I'm seeing more people with bay boats on places like Toledo Bend. That's just
Well, I'll be honest with you. That's one reason I
it's
bought a Lund.
yeah, okay. Some more. Why did you buy a Lund? More storage?
Simply, well, it does have more storage, but it's also it's safer on big water. So if you're out on the lake and you got the big wake boats and the jet skis and all of that going by, when they come by the Lund just barely bobbles. It barely moves.
Yes.
That Pro V bass is so steady on the water, you just don't have to worry about getting thrown off the front.
That's when I the last boat I had was a 20-foot Triton walleye boat.
Yeah.
And because I was going up to Green Bay and fishing smallmouth bass. I was going to Lake Erie and fishing smallmouth. And you've been on Erie, you know how brutal that body of water
Yeah,
is.
I really do.
And I'm wondering how these big these big no, they're not swim baits, they're actually glide baits.
Right.
I'm wondering would they super clear water like Green Bay, like Lake Erie.
Oh yeah, they would work.
You could
They
call the
would
fish a
definitely work.
long way away
Yeah, you're just going to have to,
because
have a really long cast and get it away from the boat and then get it down to the depth that you want it. And yeah, those smallmouth will bite that sucker in a heartbeat.
a really
They'll
long
rip.
cast, you have to have a really long, even if you're using a Ned rig,
Yeah, you have to make really long casts.
because it's one thing. That's what forward-facing sonar is teaching us, that the boat shadow scares fish. I know
Yep.
people. Oh, I've caught fish right underneath the boat. Well, yeah, man, I've caught fish all kinds of conditions, but by and large, we're learning now that even the trolling motor. We used to think trolling motors don't scare fish. Well, forward-facing sonar is teaching us differently.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah. I tell you what else it's taught us? It's taught us
they
that
are
the
a lot more
ping,
spooky than we ever thought.
yeah, the ping off your electronics spooks the fish. So you have to watch how high you got your ping up, or you'll pull in a pocket and there'll be fish everywhere. And as soon as you flip your your sonar on or your forward facing sonar, they just disperse. They go. They
How
leave
many of the
there.
old timers? How many of the old timers told us that back in the day?
So,
That if they start fishing, they turn off their electronics.
yeah. So, uh, my husband and I were up on St. Lawrence River in upstate New York on the Mohawk Indian Reservation, and Hank Parker is there, and we both
Yes.
pull up. We both pull up on an island, and Hank says, "Man, I ain't catching nothing." And our buddy Will says, "Hey, you got your electronics on?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Turn them off." And he turned his electronics off, and about 2 casts, he caught a fish.
Yes. A lot of the old timers told us that. In fact, the guy who won the Bassmaster Classic on Guntersville several years ago, and he was fishing one of my favorite places. You know, a long riprap shoreline with a
Yeah,
bridge right in the middle of it.
yeah.
He told us that. He came up there. He, he, he came up there and he said the first thing I do is turn off my electronics. And man, I stood up and cheered. Okay, but Jason said that and having a really good paint job to help seal the deal on finicky fish is a super advantageous to have. It's all about
And
the
Jason,
details.
yes, and Jason is a master painter. I mean, all of my hard baits come from Jason. And the reason they come from Jason is because I know when I get them, they're going to be perfect. They're going to be exactly what I want. They're going to be the color scheme that I want, and they're going to catch fish. They always catch fish. And
Yeah.
another really good reason that I like clickbaits and custom Collins customs is because it's more of a relationship than it is just buying a bait. Because if you've got any kind of issues with your bait, if it comes in the paint, for some odd reason should happen to come off. I've never had it happen on any of mine except for the fish knocking it off. Or you have any kind of issues with anything, all you're going to have to do is send him a note, call him on the phone, and he's going to make it right.
If you look at this detail, guys, I mean that I fished lakes that have shad in them my whole life, my entire life, and that's gosh, did we figure out that that's a threadfin or a gizzard shad?
I think we've thought it was a gizzard shad. Jason, if you want to
Okay,
pipe in and correct us if we're wrong.
but that detail, yeah, the devil's in the details right there, man. That's just look at that. That I like the pattern on the top of it. I like the way that the shades of color change as it goes down the fish. I like the detail on the gills and the way it transitions from the back to the middle of the fish, and then that black. It's a gizzard shad color.
Yep. Yep. Jason is a master at all of that. I can't brag on him enough because I mean he really is a master at putting those color schemes together and make them look natural.
And when I don't bash any companies on this show, but I don't know any. I have bought a lot of crankbaits. And, you pay $9 for them, and I could not tune them.
Yeah.
They just keep spinning out. You're never going to catch any. You're never going to catch a fish on a crankbait that's supposed to go down 12 feet that you can't get down 3 feet without it spinning out. I'd like to see the name of that company, but I won't. I just can't.
Right.
I'm not. That's not what I'm about. But it's a fact of life when you have production crankbaits, you have to tune them. And
Yep.
It's a
That's
process.
right.
And when you're fishing a tournament, the last thing you want to do is sit there.
Yeah.
I think a little bit to the left. So see,
Move
grabbing
this way, yeah.
in your.
But, and that's one of the reasons that all of my hard baits, crankbaits, jerk baits, all of those wake baits. It doesn't matter if it's a hard bait. I get them from clickbaits at Jason Collins because
Okay, so tell me,
nothing but premium stuff comes out of that shop.
does he make things like this?
he doesn't make it, but he can buy the blank and paint it any color you want it.
Okay. So, okay.
Which is one of the reasons that the Giga Shad come about, is because he wanted something that was his own. It wasn't just a blank that he was painting. It was something that he
Okay.
created, designed, and yeah, that's really how the Giga Shad come about. This is his own brainchild.
Interesting. Interesting. Jason, if you're still here, if I can make a suggestion, if you could make that, 4-inch, man,
Yeah, a 4-inch. Yeah. So,
that's
if anyone out there listening wants to keep up with when Jason's going to be doing other drops of the bait, you can go to the website. Jay, if you'll put that up for us. And on the
oh, geez, I
website,
don't know.
yeah, it's out there somewhere. On the website, you can go in and sign up on Jason's newsletter. There it is. And anyway, so and the newsletter will tell you when every drop of the bait is going to come out. Every time he has a new, if he paints a new colorway, if he just decides to drop another, because he only drops these in small quantities. I think he's got
Okay.
150 more that he's going to drop tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if anybody's wanting one of these, you go to gigashadbait.com, 7:45 tomorrow, and they're there until they're gone.
And he said, "Oh, there's definitely some bite-sized versions coming down the line here in the near future. Stay tuned." Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
He's always thinking and trying to come up with something new. And like I said, I just can't say enough about the products that come out of his shop. And he's a one-man show, so which is the reason for
One
your.
man show,
He's a
and
one-man
he's got
show.
150 of them.
Yep. That's why
My
he does
goodness.
small drops at a time. He'll get, a batch ready and then he'll do a drop. And then he'll get a batch ready and he'll do a drop.
But my goodness.
He's a busy man.
That's something right there, man. That is really something. Oh, we got another comment. Let's see who said what. And what do you mean by a drop, Rhonda? Explain that to us.
So these baits are only available at certain times. And so he did a drop about, Jason, you can correct me if I'm wrong, a couple of weeks ago. And that was like 150. So now he's got another 150 that's ready. So he's going to do another drop where they'll be available.
Okay. And guys, if you're interested in this, take a look right here. gigashadbait.com. gigashadbait.com.
Yep. 7 p.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time.
Seven p.m. EST or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, depending on where you're at in the country. And that is awesome right there. So where are you fishing next, Rhonda?
So my next tournament is not until October, and I'll be on Bull Shoals doing the super tournament for the MLF BFL.
There you go.
So I placed well enough on that. I'll be able to go to Grand Lake for the regional.
Nice. Guys, the next fishing trip for me is going to be in the middle of July, and I'm going to be on Lake Toho, which is right over by our lake. I'm going to be down there for the ICAST. That's the ICAST Cup.
Yeah, make sure you drink a lot and stay hydrated that day because it's going to be hot out there. Even though it's a 4-hour tournament, it'll take a toll on you.
You do know where I live, don't you?
Well, yeah. I forget.
No, I'm going to have a gallon of water. I don't go out on the water without at least a gallon. But yeah, I know a lot of my friends. Do you have any idea how hot it is in Orlando in July? No, I don't. Why don't you tell me? I'm a smarty pants. I'm sorry.
We can't help it sometimes.
And yeah, but being from Baton Rouge, we have the same climate as Central Florida. And it starts at 6 and it's over by 10:30.
Yeah.
Then I get to go in and have the on water day at ICAST and see all the products that they're going to be demonstrating them somewhere around the Orange County Convention Center.
Yeah, it's going to be it's always a good show. You get to see all the new stuff that's coming out for the next year.
And then they have booze.
Yeah, they do. Lots.
I told my wife, she's going to Universal Studios. I said, I am going to have every bit as much fun as you.
Oh, yeah. Every bit as much. It's just a different kind of fun.
Denise is going to be there.
I don't know if Denise is going this year or not. I know she's not fishing the tournament, but I don't know if she's going. She may have a Real Girls Fish booth. She had one last year.
She's going to be there later on Tuesday, is what she told me. So I'm going to, there's about a 50% chance I'm going to meet her.
Yeah. In all the
thousands. 2,000 people there. Yeah. Only about 2,000 people there. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's going to be fun, guys. I'm going to have a full report. I'm going to be doing videos about the ICAST thing. Like I told you, I will not be broadcasting next week. I'm going to be down at my mother's funeral. And so the show will not go on next week. It didn't come on last week because of that too. I was too busy dealing with the legalities of it. So anyways, but the good news, guys, I'm going to have a boat within the next month. I will be posting more videos after I get a boat. I'm going to be going. No stopping me now.
You're on it now.
No stop. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no stopping me now. Do you have any shout outs you want to do? We have 3 minutes left.
I'm just going to pump up Jason because this show is all about him. And,
Sure.
Guys, if you like a glide bait, this is the one to get. Get on the website, gigashadbait.com. Get yours tomorrow, 7:00 while they last. You will be very, very pleased with your product. And these next 150 are also going to be numbered. The first drop was numbered. These baits will be numbered, so it'll come with a letter of authenticity, be signed by Jason, and so you'll have if you want to just buy one and hope it goes up in price, you can do that too. It'll be a collector's item someday if you don't want to go fish it.
How hard are these things?
I'm sorry?
Is it a pretty durable?
Oh, absolutely.
Because, if I threw something like that, I'd be afraid that a muskie would come up and grab it and put big teeth marks.
It ain't going to hurt it. And the more teeth marks you get on it, the more the fish bite. It's the way I feel about it.
You're right.
Some of my best crankbaits and wake baits have the eyes knocked out of them. Which, by the way, Jason, if you're still listening, you could send me some eyes.
When I was a kid, we were brutal when we were kids. We were up north where there were pike and muskies. We'd take a sucker out of the sucker tank and cut a piece of its flesh out and throw it out.
Yep. I caught a goby on the St. Lawrence River and just let him swim around for a little bit. And I was like, well, maybe when the smallmouth will get him.
Oh yeah. Well, hold on. We have one more. We can field one more comment. Come on, let's show this. It says, thanks for the time, y'all. Appreciate the hospitality. Be blessed. You know what, Jason? Thank you very much for the great baits that you have put into the world of fishing. I really appreciate people who put their heart and soul into this fantastic world that we're creating here. Thank you. Because you can just tell that these baits, he puts his heart and soul into them. They're not production baits. Yeah. You're not going to have to sit there and tune these things. I just really appreciate it.
Yep, you can customize it to what you're doing that day and what the weather conditions are and the time of the year.
That's just fantastic. And guys, thank you so much. I just appreciate this. This show really helps me through some of the harder times in my life. And, thank you, Rhonda, for all the support you've given me over the years. I appreciate you. That's about all the time we have for this show, folks. And Jason, thank you for everything you do for the fishing industry. And with that, guys, man, get out there on the water. I tell you what, after I have my boat, it's not going to be one of those boats that I drive by every day and it never moves. Why do you spend $80,000 on a boat if you're not going to use it?
Thanks for
All
having
right, guys.
me today.
You're very welcome. I'm going to end the show with that, guys. Rhonda, stick around for 2 minutes after the show, please.
Yes, sir.
And guys, thanks again for watching the Let's Talk Fishing show, because I really do put my heart and soul into this show, too. Goodbye.